Hi, welcome back. In this session, we are going to discuss about registration of trade unions under Trade Union Act of 1926. So, how a trade union is registered. Chapter 2 of the Trade Unions Act deals with the manner of registration of trade unions. That is Chapter 2 of Trade Union Act. Now, the Act introduces a voluntary system of registration of trade unions. Mode of registration is discussed under Section 4. Section 4 of the Act lays down the procedure for registration of a trade union. Any 7 or more members of a trade union may apply for registration. So that is 7 or more members. But it is not necessary that this minimum number of members must remain intact until the trade union is finally registered. Applicants ceasing to be members or disassociating with the union will not affect the application of registration unless their number is more than half of the total number of persons who made the application. That is discussed in section 4 subclause 2. So when the disassociation or ceasing of members affects is when the total number goes below half of the members who initially made the application. So there should be a minimum of 7 or more to make the application. Now by section 4 subclause 2, even if half of the members had withdrawn from the union at any time before the registration, the application for registration is still valid. If there is minimum of half, then the application is still valid. For instance, 10 members made an application for registration. Subsequent to it, 5 members withdrew from the union. This application is in order even though the number is less than 7. Now suppose 20 members applied and 11 withdrew, that is exceeding half. If it was 10 it would have been half, but 11 withdrew, so that is exceeding half, and the balance is 9. So the minimum as per the statute was to apply for the application is 7, and here when 11 withdrew from 20 there is still 9. Here the application is not in order even though the number is more than 7. The application form should contain the following details. So to make an application for the registration of trade union, there should be 7 or more. But once the application is made and some people withdrew, even if the number goes below 7, it will be in order. The application will be in order as long as there is a minimum of half of the members who made the application still in the association to make the trade union. Now, the application form should contain the following details. The first one, the name, occupation and address of members making the application. So, the first one is name, occupation and address of members making the application. Now, the second one, the name of the trade union and address of its head office. The third one, the title, names, age, occupation, etc. of the office bearers of the union. So the application form should mainly have 3 things. One is who are the members, the details of the members who are making the application, their name, occupation as well as address. Now this application is for the registration of a trade union, so it should contain the name and the head office address of the trade union, and then a trade union shall have office bearers. So the application should have the details about the office bearers such as the name, age, occupation, designation and address of its office bearers to the union. Now along with this, a copy of the rules of the trade union must also be furnished. So that is an additional mandation. Now the rules must contain the following provision. So there should be details of its members, which include the people who are making the application, where the head office shall be, what is the name of the trade union, as well as who will be the office bearers and what are their occupation, designation, etc. Along with there should be rules that the trade union is gonna follow or is gonna set for their trade union operation, and these rules shall contain mainly 8 things. That is, first one, the name of the trade union. Second, object of the trade union. Third, purpose for which the general fund shall be used. Now fourth, the list of members. 5, the manner of admission of a new member. 6, the rate of subscription fee. 7, the manner of amending these rules. And 8, custody of the fund of the union. So what shall these rules contain? That it should contain mainly 8 details, the details regarding about 8 matters. The first one is the of course, the name of the trade union, then comes the object, then comes the purpose for which the funds of the trade union can be used, and then comes the list of members. Then the manner, once we discuss about list of members, how can a new member be added on, the rules relating to it. Then comes what is a subscription fee to be availed from each member. Then comes the manner of amending these rules. So the rules cannot be always fixed. It will be evolving from time to time depending on the circumstances. So how shall these be amended? And then finally we have who is the custodian of the funds. Like we already discussed for what purpose the funds shall be used. And the last we are going to discuss about what is who is having the custody of the funds. Now, the application must be furnished before the registrar. The registrar must grant registration only after the scrutiny of the application. Registrar is having the power to call for further information for the purpose of satisfying himself that the application complies with the provisions of the Act. The granting of registration is based upon the subjective satisfaction of registrar. So it is subjective satisfaction of the registrar. It is therefore within the competence of the registrar to refuse registration on the ground that there is no compliance with the provisions of this Act. Now, section 5 and 6 conveys a power to the registrar to alter the proposed trade union name, proposed name of the trade union, if it is identical with the name of any existing trade union. So that is with section 5 and 6 that confers power to the registrar. After this, the registrar will grant registration. The fact of the registration will be entered in a register intended for that purpose. Now, we have a case that is Rajanna Limestone Quarries Mazdoor Union versus Registrar of Trade Union. In this case, the registrar did not take action for granting registration even though the formalities were fulfilled. The aggrieved employees filed a writ petition under Article 226 of the Indian Constitution for directing the registrar to grant registration, that is writ of mandamus. The High Court directed the registrar to issue the certificate of registration. It was held that Section 8 imposes a duty on the registrar to grant registration. So here the court emphasized on Section 8 and the duty of the registrar to grant registration. Then in another case, that is NE Railway Mazdoor versus Registrar of Trade Union 1969. Here the court pointed out the registrar's duty under this act is administrative and non-quasi-judicial. So the court pointed out that the registrar's duty here is administrative and is not quasi-judicial. Now, cancellation of registration. The registrar has the power to cancel the registration once granted, and that is discussed under section 10. And for this, the following grounds are given. That is 1, non-compliance with the provisions of the Act, and second one is fraud or mistake. So, according to section 10 of Trade Unions Act 1926, registrar can withdraw the registration once issued. The registrar must send 2 months' notice before cancelling the registration. Now we have a case law here. Kerala State Electricity Board versus KSEB Trade Union. Kerala State Electricity Board, that is KSEB versus KSEB Trade Union. The court held that in an appeal by a trade union whose registration was cancelled, no other trade union has the right to implead as a party. So the court held in an appeal by a trade union whose registration was cancelled, no other trade union has the right to implead as a party. So that is with the mode of registration and cancellation of the trade unions under Trade Unions Act of 1926. Thank you for listening. Like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell icon so that you get an update when I upload my next video or a podcast. Thank you.